evening, everyone. Welcome back to Illini Drive. I'm Josh Pietsch, joined alongside, usually, as usual, by Gabby Hajduk. We did not do the show together Tuesday. Gabby, what was happening on Tuesday?
I don't even remember.
I remember. Got a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Wait. I was like, why do you know what I was... Yes, I got my first tattoo.
What is it?
It's a Gemini constellation.
Right.
With lavender flowers going through it.
Gemini stick together. That's what my Gemini friends always tell me.
Yeah, Geminis are the best signs.
Us Scorpios are superior, apparently.
No. It was exciting. I've been wanting this tattoo for like over a year. So it was cool. I thought it was going to hurt a lot more than it did, which terrifies me because I was like, it'll probably hurt so bad I'll like never want to get one again. No. There was like a part, like some parts hurt more than others just based on like what she was doing, like shading or like where it was, just like on my side. Got it on like the side of my ribs. But there were parts where I was like, felt relaxed. Like I was ready to take a nap. So that terrifies me because now I want 10 more.
Yeah,
and my dad's going to murder me.
I heard that once you get your first one, the addiction happens. You just want more and more.
That's why I was literally just on the phone with my parents, and my dad was like, you better not come home with the sleeve.
I have a friend, Jake, back home. He's probably my best buddy back home, and he got a cross on his back shoulder that his grandma gave his whole family, and she died, so he got it on his back shoulder to honor her. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he comes up to me. He's like, I think I want another one.
I know.
I'm just like, yeah, I knew that would happen.
I already have like 5 more ideas of what I want. And like, obviously with the job I want later in life, I'm going to continue to like get them in like places you can't really see if I were to be doing like television reporting or, you know, just anything because I don't really understand it, but tattoos still aren't like normalized in society in a lot of careers.
Yeah, I mean, especially as a reporter, like if you're trying to approach someone, then you have like a tattoo somewhere on you, and there's this person. It's
definitely one of those things where I feel like as a society we're like inching towards that. Yeah. But I definitely value like my future career a lot, so I'll be continuing to like, you know, get them in places.
Like when I got back into religion, I wanted to get my favorite Bible verse on like my left forearm here. And I was talking to my dad, who was all on board because he's very religious. My mom was just like, listen, like as cool as that is, like think about what your future is. I'm just like, all right, I'll wait a little bit. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's glad you like it. I was going to ask how the pain was. How long did it take?
It took like 45 minutes. So
it's
it really
not even
wasn't bad. The beginning process was like another like 30, 40 minutes, just like looking at the sketch, like making sure I didn't want anything changed, making sure I like the size, the placement. Like we changed the placement a couple times. Because, I mean, it's literally on your body forever. So, like, my friend who has a few tattoos, she was like, no matter how slight of a change it is, like, make sure it's literally perfect to where you want it. Because, like, it's literally on your body forever. I mean, I'm pretty, like, easygoing, go with the flow. So, like, if it's in the general vicinity, I was like, whatever, I don't really care. Like, you know, it's not that kind of stuff, like, doesn't really, like, bother me. So, it was good. And the lady I had, she was really nice. She's younger. So she made me feel like super comfortable for my first time. So really, really good. So yeah, that's why I missed the show Tuesday. Also missed The Bachelor. But Brendan and I caught up last night.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it Tuesday, and Annika and I watched it together yesterday night as well.
Okay.
So we both know about that, so let's go into that. I thought it was a pretty good episode. There's definitely more guy drama than I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, this was definitely the best episode by far because it's all Tayshia, no Claire. Thank the Lord. Done with Claire. And Tayshia actually got to get some group dates in. She got her first rose ceremony, which was super fun. She only sent 3 guys home, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But we're definitely figuring out the villains of the season, the people who everybody likes. My favorite right now is Brendan.
He's also my favorite.
And Zach. I like Zach.
I like Brendan. I like Easy. I've always been an easy guy.
You got to change that.
Why?
There's sexual assault allegations on him.
Why you got to spoil it for me, Gabby?
Well, they don't talk about it in the show, but like.
He seems like a very nice. Are we like sure? I'm not trying to be like oh, don't listen to girls. But
no, we don't know. They're just allegations right now.
Okay, well,
just
before
be cautious with your fandom.
Before I heard that, he was my second favorite.
No, I liked him so much. Yeah. And then Sam, who works for the DI as well, she told me about that. I was upset. But yeah, no, Brendan is my
their
favorite.
date on the horses. That was still my my favorite so far. And then I'm trying to think. I liked Ed before this episode happened, and I also like
I hate Ed.
I like Ed more than I like Chasen.
Yeah, me too, but I hate Ed.
No, I like Ed. And then who's the...
He's stupid.
I've always liked Kenny a little bit for some reason. The boy band manager.
Ew, I hate him.
I like Kenny.
He's
nice.
Looks like a dork.
Yes, he does, but he's a nice guy.
No, he seems nice, but he's definitely not right for Tayshia. I think she's definitely falling for Brendan, Zach.
And how about Noah?
And yeah, that's just a little like, I think that's lust. She's just like that won't make it far. And who's the other one that she really likes? They like kissed for the first time, and like she was like, ooh, he's gonna be trouble. And he was the one who didn't talk to her at the cocktail party after the group date, and she was like kind of mad at him. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
What?
I'm not great with the names. But something else that if we're recapping the episode, which I think that we forgot about here, we have to talk about Bennett.
I love Bennett.
You do like him?
Yeah.
He did not look like a Harvard student. He was very extra when he wore his bathrobe to...
I thought it was kind of funny.
I did too. I like him. I think he's really smart, but he's definitely like way too into it. He's got to chill a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little aggressive. Like, this guy, Ben.
Oh, I like Ben.
She definitely likes Ben.
I like Ben
too. But he was stupid for not
I agree.
He thought she was going to come to her after the group date on the cocktail party. Like, no, you have to go get her.
And then is the other...
of the show.
He got a rose. His name Irvin, the light-skinned one. Is that his name?
Ivan.
I really like him too. There's a lot of people I do like. I'll say this. But I think that the clear leader in my mind right now is Brendan. They should be together. Like, obviously, we're not going to get a Claire situation.
No, my top 4 is definitely Brendan, Ivan, Zach, and who's that guy I just said? Ben. Those are my top 4.
Mine are... I'm still going to put Easy in there. Just like, I'm going to worry about that later. I'm going to go Brendan, Easy. Is Ivan the one I just asked you about? And then...
Brendan, Easy, Ivan.
I'll just go with those 3. I don't think I can do... And then maybe Bennett, actually. I've always been a fan of his, but I liked him less after this past episode.
Yeah. No, this episode, there was a lot of boy drama, which is the best type of drama. Like,
I hated that.
Everybody always talks about, like, girls being the dramatic ones. No, like, this is where you see how dramatic men can be.
Gabby, I told you, when I actually watched the show with my ex-girlfriend, we only watched The Bachelorette, so I've never seen, like, I can't imagine, The Bachelor. Because the girl drama that would come out of that.
That's what you think. It's honestly, sometimes the guys are worse. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe
the guys can. I've watched both a lot. Like, I think the guys are actually worse because guys like suppress for so long, and then when they are in the environment to like be dramatic, they like go crazy. Like, no, I would say the boys are more drama than the girls, which you think would be the complete opposite, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're in for a pretty good season. The preview for next week looked good.
Let's just credit Tayshia with how much fun she makes it. She's a great personality. She's great looking. She's fun.
Yeah,
she knows how to approach everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's perfect.
I hate Chasen for calling her a smoke show.
Chasen's the worst.
As a woman, that's probably the last thing you want to be called.
I know.
A smoke show at age 30.
But she said she was like falling for him. She didn't him.
Like she's not seeing anything else.
I guess something, Gabby, that I didn't realize, like actually noticed and had to ask Annika about yesterday, was that like these people are like filled with alcohol during these. Like I guess that I didn't really realize that until they are. Like you know how they're always drinking with the like there's a lot that we don't see.
No, I know, but they have drink limits.
They do, but that doesn't.
Cap them.
But that doesn't mean that they still can't have a lot. So I guess like watching like all the drama unfold yesterday, I think was like the first time I'd realized
they're not.
I don't know about that. Like deep, like obviously during the day and not like in at the start, but like deep into the night, I'm not sure about that.
I'm pretty sure they literally limit them to like 2 drinks. And if you get drunk off 2 drinks.
Well, the explanation that I got, because she seemed pretty sure about it, but she said like, oh yeah, because they like want you to talk and they don't want the show to be boring. So part of that, like they do cut you off, but part of that is like the booze. So yeah. I'm not sure. But hey, it was a good episode. It seems we both like it.
Looking forward to the rest of her season.
Team Brendan.
For sure.
Team Brendan for sure. Okay, so into sports news. I think we spent like 10 minutes talking about that, so that was fun. But
sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Illinois finally has a basketball schedule set in stone here.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 non-conference games, which hopefully are just warm-up games.
Yeah.
And then after that, it gets real. Baylor, Duke, Missouri, and then a very favorable, I would say, conference schedule for the Illini.
We're still waiting on one non-conference game to be announced. Like, they haven't released the full schedule yet. But yeah, I mean, the non-conference schedule after this coming week. I mean, we have Illinois basketball in 6 days.
So excited.
Super exciting.
I'm excited to be able to watch a sport without working it. I can just sit back on my couch, relax, and watch, and not have to worry about taking notes or writing a recap or anything.
No, it's definitely nice. I'm excited to watch Illinois basketball this year, as many people are, rightfully so. But yeah, I think Illinois is now really the favorite in most analysts and eyes and polls to win the Big Ten now, because they kind of got a really favorable schedule. They play like the ranked teams, preseason ranked teams. Number 5, Iowa. Number 13, Michigan State. Number 24, Rutgers. And number 25, Michigan. They only play once.
Yeah, and they play Iowa at home.
No,
they play Wisconsin twice, though.
They do play Wisconsin twice, who is obviously like them. Iowa and Illinois are all like very interchangeable in the rankings right
Not in
now.
our eyes.
Not in our eyes, but
eyes.
In a lot of people's eyes for Big Ten rankings and just for national rankings. Yeah. So that'll definitely be the biggest test, is playing Wisconsin twice. But then they play the bottom of the Big Ten, Nebraska, Penn State, and Northwestern twice. So if they can, I feel like the thing with Illinois basketball, even like Illinois football too, like sports in general, I feel like they always lose a couple games that they don't need to lose, that they play down to the competition. I don't see that happening with this year's team just because of how deep it is. Like, if Iowa and Kofi are off, there's still a really solid group of guys on that team that can go out and get it done. So even if you have an injury or you just like have an off day from a couple of your top players, like this team is really deep. So I think they're really going to minimize those kind of mistake games or those fluky games where they lose to like a Northwestern. Not saying that, you know, these bottom of the Big Ten teams can't be competitive as well. We saw last year how competitive each Big Ten team can be. So no matter what, every game in the Big Ten is winnable for each side, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm trying to think back to last year's conference schedule. Did Illinois have a bad conference loss last year?
Miami.
That was not a non-conference
loss.
game.
Sorry, I thought you said non-conference.
Well, Mizzou and Miami were bad losses, but I'm trying to think
those
if
were beginning of the season when things were kind of rocky still.
Because they beat Purdue twice. They beat Northwestern twice. They beat Penn State, or Penn State was top. They did Minnesota.
Lose those 2 games to Maryland that they were winning.
But Maryland was a top 5-10 team in the country.
Yeah. They went on that win streak.
I don't think they had a bad loss.
They lost to Rutgers.
That wasn't bad at all. Rutgers only lost one home game.
Yeah, but still, I would have considered that a win. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a bad loss in terms of competition level, but I would say that like one of those Maryland games needed to be a win because they were leading in both. That's just a bad loss to me. If you're up on a team 2 times and you kind of let them come back both times. But it's not like, you know, a Nebraska or a Northwestern came out and beat them. The first Northwestern game at home was close.
That was really close.
75-71. And I remember, I think Northwestern led at one point.
And then the next game, Alan Griffin kabam.
At Northwestern. So, yeah, I mean, after that first month of games where we saw them lose to Miami, lose really grossly to Missouri, I remember a lot of people were worried. I'll toot my own horn and say that I literally said there was nothing to worry about and that they would kind of pull together, and they did very quickly.
I said that if we came back from Miami and beat Michigan, we would be fine, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bad game. We handled them the whole game.
Yeah. So I don't know. Illinois starts off with Minnesota on December 15th. So
Dub.
Conference play starts as early as December 13th. Illinois doesn't start till the 15th at home. And then they go to Rutgers.
Yep.
So a pretty doable first couple games. And then to end the season, you end with two pretty tough games. I would say number 7 Wisconsin, and then at number 23 Ohio State.
You'd hate to have a 2-game losing streak going into the Big Ten tournament, but that's why they're a top team, because then hopefully if then they can get it right back. But those would be interesting. I wonder how those numbers are going to change by the end of the year, Gabby, because you and I have been the two big people that I know, at least, that have said Wisconsin should not be ranked higher than Illinois. We don't understand this. We don't get this, but they are. And that's how analysts and experts see them.
So, because Illinois is number 8 right now, right?
And Wisconsin 7. Yes.
Wisconsin 7, and I was number 5. Michigan State is 13. Ohio State is 23. Rutgers is 24, and Michigan's 25.
What a stacked conference!
I think that's all ranked teams.
Holy moly!
Yeah, really stacked conference. And then Purdue and Indiana are always going to be competitive. Really, like I said earlier, no matter who's in the bottom of the Big Ten, like this is still such a talented conference that it's really anyone's game any night, especially with no fans. It really just turns into who's the better team and has the better energy and who wants it more. So obviously Illinois is one of, if not the most talented teams in the Big Ten, but you can't be complacent, and that goes for any team this season. I mean, we've seen with Big Ten football how weird this season has been. Indiana, Northwestern at the top, Penn State at the bottom. You know what I mean? So I think this year for everything, not just sports, we've seen has been crazy. And this pandemic has just affected people really differently. Mental health, physical health are huge factors right now in just every facet of life. So it wouldn't be surprising to see, a bottom of the Big Ten team for basketball stand out like it's happening in football, or, for one of the top teams to just like not really live up to the potential. Obviously, hoping that's not Illinois' case. I find that very hard to think that they would be the team, but you might see like a Michigan and Ohio State
absolutely
type of team, like just really not succeed. And then maybe Purdue or Indiana kind of like raise some expectations. So I think the season should be really fun. I think for people who want to see Illinois win, it should be very fun.
You hope so, right?
But we get Illinois basketball in 6 days.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's
exciting. I think that the roster is mostly set. We're not totally sure about Austin right now. He's still recovering from his injury.
Yeah, I also don't think BBV is fully recovered yet.
But I didn't see BBV atop of the rotation guy anyways.
No, but he's still a nice forward, just off the bench guy.
I'd say for the most part, besides Austin, the lineup's pretty much set. We know, who's probably going to play. Maybe we don't know about Coleman Hawkins yet. But 6 days from now, feels kind of weird to say, but let's just get through these first 3 games. You got 3 in a row, all at home. North Carolina, AT&T, Wright State, and then Ohio. That's John Gross's old team. Let's get through those 3, see how they look, and then hopefully 5 days after Ohio, they can give Baylor a competitive game.
Yeah, I don't expect Illinois to beat Baylor at all. Baylor's just a different level of talent right now.
I'm not taking Illinois in that game.
But if you can see Illinois compete in that game and just like show that they can get to that level by the end of the year, show potential to be able to beat a Baylor once March rolls around, I think that's all you have to ask for. You obviously need to see a big game from Io. This is really the first game in a while he's like being like he's gonna be playing against someone better than him at his position. And I think that's really exciting for him. I think he has a huge opportunity to really like prove himself on a national stage against one of the best teams.
Yeah.
If not the best team in the country. So it's an exciting start. I'm really excited. I hope we don't see them come out and be super flat just because, it's the beginning of the season. I think having those 3 games early will be nice to try and work in the freshmen as well. See what Curbelo and Miller can do. get the nerves out before you play against a Baylor and a Duke where you can't have nerves. You can't be making nervous mistakes against those type of teams. So get it out early next week against these 3 teams that you should convincingly beat. And I think we're in for a good season.
Yeah. I mean, knock on wood, they take care of business in those first 3 games. No one's got a chip on their shoulder more than Io does coming back for this 3rd season. So I can't imagine he won't bring his A game. Obviously, I think that if we see Illinois, crush these 3 teams the first weekend, then like Baylor has a close game or something, I'm going to be a dummy and pick Illinois. I can't pick Illinois. I can't do that to them because then I'll disappoint myself. But it'll be a good season. I'm excited. You're excited. Everyone that follows Illini sports is excited. We're going to take a little break. When we get back, Illinois' got another football team. We're going to switch gears at Nebraska. That's next on Illini Drive. Back to Illini Drive, coming off of their first win of the year at Rutgers. Illinois is going to travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Last year, Illinois lost in kind of heartbreaking fashion. They were up 21-7, had a second half lead over the Cornhuskers at home under the lights. The scene was set, and then the offense kind of stopped rolling. The secondary got blown up by Adrian Martinez, and Nebraska won 42-38. But it's a new year, new quarterback for Nebraska. It looks like Gabby just told me McCaffrey is starting.
That's what I read.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's in Lincoln this year. Obviously, a couple of one-win teams. Nebraska just beat Penn State to get on the board in the win column. Wish I was more confident.
Oh, same. I am zero confident. I would say it's a 50-50 shot.
I don't know about that. That's
maybe
generous.
46.
ESPN has it 80-20.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think it depends what this defense can do with McCaffrey. Obviously, Adrian Martinez has just annihilated Illinois in their past 2 meetings. Illinois has not beaten Nebraska since 2015. So it's been a rocky several years for Illinois in this matchup. So it should definitely be interesting. Illinois is only averaging 17 points per game, but Nebraska is only averaging 20. And Nebraska gives up an average of 32, while Illinois gives an average of 34. So I would say pretty equally bad teams right now. Obviously, you saw Illinois take a step up last week, but that was also with Isaiah Williams at quarterback. I'm assuming Brandon Peters is going to get the start. Brendan and I talked on the podcast the other day. We think if Brandon has done absolutely nothing by halftime, we'll see Isaiah start the second half. Definitely think Isaiah will be in the first half for, design run plays, wildcat, whatever their package is going to be for Isaiah this week. But you have to assume Brandon, if he's healthy, which all signs point to him being healthy, he'll be the starter this week. He has a lot to prove after his only appearance this season in Wisconsin. Not being able to put up any points on the board offensively, completing just 8 passes. Really bad game for Brandon Peters that first week. So he has a lot to prove, and he has to prove it quickly because, Lovey's job, in our opinion, I would say, is on the line with this season. Most people's opinion. His job's on the line. So he needs to start making decisions that's best for the team. And if Brandon Peters can't win him that game by halftime, he has to put in Isaiah. And I think he's kind of ready to make that call, hopefully. He has said it many times. You have to put the guys in who you think will be best for the team and who will help the team win. I think that's Brandon right now. But if he's not able to do it, why not just throw Isaiah in? He rallied the team last week. He's the only Illinois quarterback to have a win. You know what I mean? So I think it's hard to argue that Isaiah has it in him. But if Brandon comes out flat, I don't know about this game. I'm worried because I don't know. I don't think the Illinois defense can contain Nebraska for too long.
I don't think they can contain him for 2 halves. I think that it may be close in the first half, but I don't know. I'm worried. I actually disagree with you. I don't think Lovey's job is on the line this season because of COVID. And they got their win, and everyone got sick and stuff like that. So I actually slightly disagree. I think that if next year the same thing happens, Levy's gone, and you know who I want for the job, but it's a topic for another time. I also think that, like, in my opinion, if I was choosing a quarterback, I'd actually roll with Isaiah just because I like what he brought. And even at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, when Rutgers knew exactly what was coming, Illinois ran the ball effectively. It worked. Isaiah's really talented. He can pass the ball if he needs to because of his strike to Casey Washington before the game ended that set up Jake. So, again, I like Brandon. I think that he is QB1. Obviously, coming to the year, no doubts in my mind who would be starting. And there's also no doubt in my mind who's starting on Saturday. It's Brandon Peters. Like, it is Brandon. Lovey hasn't said so yet, but he's been hinting at it all week. Obviously, Lovey's not the type of person to come out and say anything straightforward, but in my eyes, based on what everyone has said and what we're hearing, it will be Brandon. And you're right, Gabby. Brandon has something to prove because I'm worried there's going to be rust. And even if there's rust for a couple drives, that's going to be fine. But if it's the middle of the second quarter or the start of this second half and Brandon has done nothing, I guarantee you Lovey will not hesitate to put Isaiah in because he was recognized on SportsCenter. He broke a school record. He led a game-winning drive, and he's getting benched. You don't hear that very often. So I think Brandon has a lot to prove. I think that the secondary is going to be key because they had I'm not going to say a very good game. I don't think they had a very good game at all against Rutgers, but they had a pretty good game. Obviously, the 3 interceptions in the second half is what arguably won them the game. They finally got their 3 turnovers. So as much as I think Brandon's going to have pressure on him, I think there's at least as much pressure on the secondary.
Yeah, I think so. I think McCaffrey being, a new quarterback to the Big Ten, a new starting quarterback to the Big Ten, Illinois defense definitely can have an advantage. I think the big advantage with Illinois potentially is last game the top rusher was McCaffrey, similar to Isaiah Williams. They kind of brought a similar game last week. So if Illinois can kind of contain the run game, I think they might have a decent shot to win. Because McCaffrey didn't put up ridiculous numbers in the passing game. He was 13 of 21 for 152. So he put up 67 rushing yards, and he had a rushing touchdown. He had 1 passing touchdown and an interception. Nebraska doesn't have like that standout player.
No, they don't. And that's, by the way, why I think there's pressure on the secondary because that's what could lose them the game. Not win them the game, but lose them. But keep going.
Yeah, and I think you need to make McCaffrey beat you with his pass. Make him beat you with his arm. Like, he is not proven. He is not a proven quarterback. He has a lot to prove if he wants to be a solid college quarterback. He obviously got the win last week, and that's all great, but you need to make him beat you with his arm, not his legs. Or not, because their second highest rusher was Robinson Wandale, and he had like 60 rushing yards, so nothing crazy. Whereas, on Illinois' end, I think they definitely have the running advantage. Chase Brown had a monster game last week with 131 yards. Mike Epstein has really been the consistent force in the end zone. He's really good near the goal line, just kind of powering through. And then you're obviously going to expect to see Isaiah in design run plays. And we've seen Brandon can run too. So I think Illinois definitely has the rushing advantage. I don't think either team has the passing advantage.
We could if Brandon brings his A game.
If Brandon brings his A game, Illinois definitely should. They definitely have the stronger receiving core. If on paper, like looking at nothing else, not looking at literally any stats from the season, this should be a pretty easy game for Illinois to win. If you were to just look at roster versus roster, you know what I mean?
Going into the season?
Into the season. That's clearly not the case. The defense has underperformed. They stepped up big last week. I'll give them that. But they still have not proven to me that they are consistent. They played one good game. If they can keep that rolling, if they can use that momentum, I think Illinois will come out with the win. I think a lot rides on the defense.
I think that if the defense is able to ride their momentum, Illinois does have a 50-50 shot this game. Mm-hmm. If the defense plays like they did against Minnesota,
absolutely.
Jeez, it's going to be a blowout. So, yeah, no, I don't think that the 80%, 15.5 point spread on ESPN is necessarily correct or a good prediction. Obviously, the last time we said that, it was 45-7. We were all crying the next day.
I think a 15 point spread, I think you're giving Nebraska too much credit there. Like ESPN is.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry. Do I think Illinois is going to win? No. But do I think that they're going to lose by 15 points?
They could.
I don't think so, but they could.
Well, who's better, Purdue or Nebraska? It's a good question, right?
I'd say Purdue.
Me too. But it's on the road, and I know that there's no fans, but it still means something.
Yeah, I mean, definitely traveling and not being on your home turf, and
probably bad sleep the night before. And,
you're in a hotel and everything. It'll be interesting. I think this is another game that Illinois can win, very similar to the Rutgers game. I think I like
our chances Saturday more than I did going into the Rutgers game. I had my reasons for that, but I do, and I still don't think we're going to win. I don't think it's going to be necessarily too close, but I agree with you that this is a winnable game for sure. And I think something else that's going to affect that is Chase Brown going to have the game that he did against Rutgers or something close to it, because the dude was an animal.
I mean, him or Epstein need to have a 100-yard game.
Definitely. And they've done that the last two games.
Yeah, Mike Epstein had one, and then Chase Brown had one. So if one of them can kind of eclipse that 100-yard, and then the other kind of do enough work in the red zone, I think the offense is kind of riding through the run game right now.
Yeah.
Will that change with Brandon? Probably. Obviously, having Alex Pietsch out is going to be a huge hit. But Julian Pearl, he played well minus the couple illegal formation penalties, which I'm sure they cleaned up in practice this week. Easy fix. So I think the offensive line should still be okay. Obviously, Palczewski's, I would say, the best player on the offense, if not on the team as a whole. And he's just your biggest leader. So it's definitely a loss. I'm sure he'll be there and be on the sideline helping out and talking to the guys. But it's obviously not the same as having him out there. You want to go score predictions?
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that Blake Hayes is the best player on the whole team.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, I just love Blake Hayes. Yes, score predictions. All right. You go first, Gabby.
Oh, God.
Pressure's on.
Okay, let's see. Nebraska put up 30 against Penn State. They also let Penn State put up 23. Okay, I'm going to say Nebraska wins this one. And I'm going to say it'll be 31-24. Or lose by a touchdown. 31-24.
I'm going to go Nebraska, obviously. 37-20. Illinois does not cover.
Dang. Okay.
I want to be very wrong.
Yes.
I also might put money on this game. So I have to be right somewhere.
Yeah.
37-20 Nebraska. I really feel confident in that.
4.
Not bad.
I'm worried, but when are we not worried about Illinois?
At least we're
football,
a little used to this now. We're used to it.
Yeah, I don't feel as much of a heartbreak as I did the first couple games. Kind of expecting it, getting my headline ready for your story, thinking about what verb I can use to say loss or loses.
Another one. Hey, we had one last week that we didn't get to use.
Any good verbs.
I gave you one last week, and we didn't get to use it. What was it? It was on the couch, I told you.
I don't know.
Darn.
Please send me, call in.
You should link your Snap.
I don't know. My email is giahajduk2@Illini Media. Hajduk is spelled Hajduk, number 2. Let me know verbs for loss. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, I have access to thesaurus.com, but that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
You could just send me.
It's much easier to just check.
Too much easier or too much harder to just look up from thesaurus. I don't want to do that. It's not my goal here. So let me know verbs for lose.
What a pessimistic way to end the segment.
As an editor, Josh, I have to be prepared.
That's true. And as an Illini fan, I have to be prepared to celebrate a win. We're gonna take a break. You're right. As an Illinois reporter, I have to be prepared to write about a win.
Correct.
There, I cleaned it up for you.
There you go. Thanks.
Some journalism skills right there. All right, we're going to take a break. As usual, to end the Thursday show, another week of NFL games that we're going to preview. That's next on Illini Drive. Welcome back to Illini Drive. All right, this week's slate of NFL games is actually pretty good. Gabby and I have complained that there hasn't been a lot of good games the past few weeks, but I think we're in store for some pretty good ones here, Gabby. So
sweet.
Thursday night, start off strong, right? Arizona Cardinals at Seattle Seahawks.
This is probably the best game of the week.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really good one. I think Arizona is so good. Kyler is really good. I'd probably still go Seahawks, though.
I'm also going to take the Seahawks. Russell Wilson hasn't played very well the last couple of weeks. He's still my MVP front runner. Yeah. He's going to bring it. Like 400-yard game, 4 touchdowns out of Russ.
Hopefully. I got him on my fantasy team.
All right, we'll both take Seattle there. I say there's good games, and then I say Philadelphia at Cleveland. 12 o'clock.
Probably Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely.
Cleveland's still playing decently.
Yeah.
Especially against poor teams like the Eagles.
For some reason, I think Philadelphia is going to make it really close.
Probably. It'll be a close game. I mean, Cleveland isn't good enough to, like, blow out a team, I think, right now, especially without Odell. So I don't know. Well, I'll definitely go Cleveland, but I agree. I think it'll probably be a close one for a while.
Yep. This game isn't bad. Atlanta at New Orleans. 2 teams that play in a dome.
Definitely Saints.
Yeah, but Drew Brees is out, and Atlanta's been playing a lot better. I'm going to take Atlanta on this one.
Really? I'm definitely going to stick with the Saints.
Jameis Winston finally gets a start. I'm happy for him. I mean, we assume Brees is out here, right?
He is.
Okay, yeah.
I think so.
I love Drew Brees. Rest up.
Do I have Drew Brees as a quarterback?
I do, but I don't start him. I start Josh Allen. I'm going to take the Falcons.
Okay.
Next game. Bengals at the football team.
Give me Bengals.
Yeah, probably. Except for Washington is better than we think. Alex Smith played really well last week.
Yeah.
Over 300 yards, but it's just scary watching him. I can't watch those games.
I heard Joe Burrow.
Yep. I'll also take Cincinnati. Detroit at Carolina.
Ooh. Give me Carolina.
Yeah. Panther up.
I like
him. Yeah. Teddy's good. Not much there. Ooh. Trap game. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville.
It's not a trap game, Mike Tomlin says. Steelers.
Jacksonville almost beat Green Bay on the road last week.
You want to make a bet?
No. Pittsburgh's winning this game. Can we make a bet on the next one, though? Tennessee at Baltimore.
No.
Okay, well, Tennessee at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Tennessee for sure. I love Tennessee in this game.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Titans up, baby. Go.
No,
Derrick
Baltimore
Henry.
hasn't been really good the last couple of weeks, so they're going to bounce back.
Okay, I take Tennessee. New England at Houston.
Ugh. That's a crappy game. Probably New England, though.
I'll take Houston. Deshaun Watson's going to have one good game, and everyone's going to be like, he's back, and then he won't be.
Deshaun deserves so much better.
He does. Come to the Bears.
So does J.J. Watt.
The surprise team of the year, the Miami Dolphins at the Denver Broncos. This is easy for me. I'm taking Miami in a heartbeat.
Same.
Like,
100%.
no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. No, they're pretty legit right now.
They beat
that.
Justin Herbert and the Chargers last week. Obviously,
Right.
Miami's a better team, but it was a good game. It was
Yeah,
fun to watch.
I like the Chargers. They're my second favorite team.
We'll both take Chargers over Jets. Green Bay at Indianapolis.
This is a good game.
This is a good game.
Indy hasn't been playing as well as they did in the beginning of the season, though.
They definitely haven't.
Jonathan Taylor has definitely slowed down. I'll probably take Green Bay.
I was thinking about taking Indy, but I feel like
So
Phillip
was I.
Rivers just can't get it together now.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go Green Bay here. That's
I
not
think it
like
could be
me.
a good game, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay. Dallas at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota for sure. Coming off that win over the Bears. Good job. this is a good game. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Raiders.
That is a good game.
Because the Raiders have the Chiefs' only loss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could, it's hard to beat a team twice.
It is, especially a team like the Chiefs. I'll probably take the Chiefs just because of that fact. I also think Chiefs are the better team. And I don't see the Raiders. The Raiders are good, don't get me wrong, but Chiefs are obviously the more elite team. And like you said, it's hard to beat a team like that twice.
Can we put a bet on this one?
Sure.
I'll take the Raiders if you want to do a bet on this game. It's very, very unlike me to bet against the Chiefs, but I just feel like this could be fun.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders. Derek Carr, give me a game. Monday Night Football. I was going to do dun-dun-dun, but it's not Sports Center. Los Angeles Rams at Tampa Bay. Another pretty good game.
That's a good game. I'll probably have to go. Tampa.
I'm going to take the Rams. Just ever since watching them, it's hard against the Bears. It's hard for me to get a bet against them, even though I know the Bears are terrible. I don't have to see a loss this week. At least the Bears don't play.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They're on a bye week.
I'm upset. My two favorite teams, the Bears and the Bills, are both on bye weeks.
Really?
I'm a big Chargers fan this weekend.
And
that's easy for me because they're going to destroy the Jets
this week, apparently.
Yeah, and go Raiders.
Which isn't good because I really actually need the Chiefs to be losing so Steelers can secure that number one spot in the AFC, but I still think the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders, and I want free dinner.
By the way, I meant to talk to you about this.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx them because I know about, all that. I'm not sure the Steelers are going to lose a game because they're going to beat the Jaguars. They're definitely going to beat the Ravens. They're going to beat the football team. They're going to beat the Bengals, the Colts, and the Browns. At the Bills is like the only game I could see this team losing.
They also played the Colts
at home. I don't know.
There's no way this Ravens lose to the Steelers twice, in my opinion. Not because the Ravens are better, just because of the rivalry. They always split games typically. I want the Steelers to lose a game.
I definitely don't.
I don't want, if they go into the postseason undefeated, they'll lose the first game.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that if they lose a game before, their odds at the Super Bowl increase.
It's definitely going to be like a humbling game. Like, okay, we're not untouchable. That's what, and this is a very veteran-based team the Steelers have, so I don't anticipate it being a huge problem. But going into the playoffs undefeated, subconsciously, you're going to think you're a little untouchable. And I don't want that. I'd rather have one or even two losses. I think the Ravens game is going to be super hard, considering the Ravens haven't been playing well. They're going to need to step it up. And it's really just hard for either team on that side of the rivalry to win both games a season. I think the Bills game is going to be really tough, just because the Steelers secondary is inconsistent. And
true.
Josh Allen's good, really good. So I think the Bills and the Ravens will definitely be a challenge. So will the Colts will also be a challenge, but I think that's a more winnable game than Ravens or Bills.
Yeah. So are you gonna root against them in one game or?
No, I mean I'll never root against them.
Do you want to go 16-0?
No, but I'm not going to root against them.
But if they're 15-0, you're going to be rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean if they're 15-0 at the end of the season, then
see, it's weird because I oddly perfectly understand you.
Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to root against my team, but I'm not going to be devastated if they lose a game or two.
I totally understand.
I'm in the comfortable position, playoff position right now, knock on wood. I feel comfortable about their playoff potential.
Yep.
And I'd rather just not have the pressure of undefeated. Never works out.
Yep, I agree. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Gabby, this is the last one until... Well, actually, if we're both back next week, we could do one, right?
I don't know. I'll talk to Brendan.
It might be the last one. If not,
for a while.
If not, thanks for a fun semester. Yeah. It's been real. I'm going to miss Illini Drive.
In 2 weeks or in January.
Exactly. All right, that's going to do it from Gabby and Josh. This has been Illini Drive.